Okay, folks. So for this commentary, I'm going to have to do something a little bit different. And the reason why is because I've just recorded this game and I didn't notice that I'd unplugged. I pulled out my USB microphone. I use a Blue Snowball and it had come unplugged, and I just didn't notice when I had OBS running. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to talk my way through this game and try and give you a post commentary. So I'm now looking at the screen, I'm now looking at what's going on. So I'm talking about the force selection, how after the last battle we got a whole load of good equipment. So I'm just going to see how this works out. So for what you can see, I've got Rifle Squad, Dushka, Field Engineer, Medic in Phase 1. In Phase 2, I'm bringing the LEIG and that 17cm Minenwerfer with the Beast, with trucks, the T-20 and the Panzer to pull them, with another Rifle Squad. And then Phase 3, I've got a tank crew and the 2 BT-5s, plus a Rifle Squad, a Medic, and that captured for 3 ton. So we'll get ready, we'll just take a look. We haven't got anything else, we're short on points, we've got no more research. We do have some artillery points, but we have no more call-in space for that one, so we're just going to go with this. So we're going to wait now. I'm just going to fill dead air now while I'm waiting for the video to catch up with my voiceover. So we're going to select the mission, and I'm doing this straight after the game, so I should have a pretty good memory of how the game went. So we've got 2 options. One is a research bonus, 2 risk, or a research with 1 risk. 200, 100, 402. I'm going to go for the 402. Why would I not? It seems the obvious thing to do, to take that risk. So I'm deciding which, but I kick into the research bonus. So we're here, we're back on this landscape. Now this is the Woodyard and the burned out city. It's an interesting map, both to attack and defend. Generally there are 2 points on this map, and there were 2 points in this game. One is the hill. There's a crossroads up on the hill that's fairly heavily fortified, and then there's normally a fortified area, victory location down in the city. Occasionally it's in the Woodyard, and the Woodyard's a bit of a nightmare to fight your way through, but in this case we didn't get to the Woodyard. One of the VLs was actually in the factory complex on the edge of that city itself by the railway yards, but that becomes a very bloody fight. So we're just waiting for the load now, up at 99%, and then we're going to get into it. I mean, this may work, and you guys can comment. Let me know if this works as a post commentary. So we saw a flash of quite a lot of deployed AI resources. As normal, we're just talking about letting the sun come up. The enemy's coming in directly from the east. We're set up on the west side, right in the middle of the west side by the railway tracks. So we're just going to take a look. This is the settings that we're on: hardcore with a large campaign. So that's hardcore for the AI, combat AI, and hardcore for the economy. So this is the first VL. It's up on the top of this hill, and the second VL is down in the city on the edge of that factory complex. So those are our 2 places that we've got to attack. And I decide in this game that I can't storm that hill. That hill is just too difficult. If there's any artillery or guns up there at all, it's just a killing zone. It's open ground and it's high ground. So we decide that we're going to swing to the right and capture the city one. Also on the left hand side you can see there are these trench lines that are in there already dug in, so you can we can form a hard point on that left hand side, but the right side also gives us some approach because both that VL is also a long way from the enemy, so it can take a while for them to come forward and reinforce that location. Okay, so we're ready to go. We take pause off in a moment, and into the game we go. We're just waiting now. There we go. Pause is off. So we've got some engineers, an infantry squad, so we start moving things pretty quickly. The infantry move over to there. The engineers move over to there because I want them to be able to support our artillery. This is an anti-tank rifle team that I think I'm just going to put forward into the city. We see lots of enemy coming in directly from the east and southeast. I didn't quite spot that at the time. So on the left hand side we're going to put, I think the Dushka machine gun is going to go over there, and we're going to split the medics, 1 for each flank. So we get second call in. Second call in, we've got the LEIG and we've got 2 tows, so the LEIG and this 17cm Minenwerfer. So we send the T20 forward, we're going to grab that Minenwerfer, and then with the Panzer I, which is really quite a nice little towing vehicle because it tows and then provides machine gun support for the LEIG. The other rifle squad were pushing up on the left because we want to take that trench line that's in front of us, and we send the Minenwerfer over to the right because we're going to use that Minenwerfer as artillery to bombard out the objective before we have to send infantry forward. And we're sending one set of ammunition over to the left where the LEIG is going, and one set of ammunition over to the right. We're keeping that moving, so we're going to move that Minenwerfer with the T20 as the haulage vehicle all the way over into the wood yard, and we're going to start to spread some infantry out around this. We want to get directly opposite to where the victory location is, that red square that's up in the edge of the city complex. So we've got our infantry on the left over here. That's the Minenwerfer moving into position. The Dushka is there. We want to kind of get forward a little bit, but not too far forward because we really don't know what is up on the top of that hill. So we'll move the Dushka forward a little bit into those rocks. I think we're trying to get it to move, and we're moving the LEIG forward as well. For some reason one of the crew got lost on that one, so we can move it up to that rock and give it some protection. The LEIG meanwhile is moving there. Half of the squad will pop into those trenches there, and I think the other half of the squad we might want to keep back on reserve. So we're moving the ammo crate just up behind the LEIG and dropping the LEIG down, or trying to, and then moving its tow back, that little captured Panzer I that we captured last time, into a reserve position, because basically it's a couple of machine guns with some armoured machine guns, so it's quite a useful little thing to press off against an infantry attack. Back over on the right we've got our engineers, and we're going to start bedding in directly opposite the objective. You can see the objective flag over there, and so we're moving forward, and we've got one of our engineers to start digging a trench there, so we've got a hard base. Splitting the squad in two, just in case we get some enemy that start to counter-attack us a little bit here. We've got some creepy music on the soundtrack that tells us things are happening, contact's about to be made, but we're shifting all of our weight over to the right because that's where we're going to try and control and mount an attack on that objective. We're splitting the medics there, so one medic's going to go to the right, and we've got some contact. We've got some contact over here, but the Dushka is powering in, so some infantry are coming down from that hill and probing at us, but the Dushka's in a lovely position there, long range, very rapid fire, and lots of killing power. And we've moved the LEIG slightly to its left and got it to sandbank in, and that's Fieldweber. Just used a shell to kill an infantryman, not very efficient. And we're bringing this medic over. Actually, we're putting both medics over to the right hand side. That wasn't the plan, but that's what we did. So we've got a miner digging away there, and we're going to bring that little T20 round because it's got a nice little machine gun on the front. Again, it's a little mobile natural machine gun. Meanwhile, we're going to get a couple of infantry dug in on the end, so we've got some eyes on the objective. And over on the other side, we're jumping around, so we're moving the Minenwerfer forward and getting an infantry screen out. We're very protective of that Minenwerfer. Meanwhile, we're digging ourselves a trench there, but I kind of decide that's a little bit far back. It's not quite the right place. It's a bit over defensive there. So we've got the Minenwerfer down, and what we have to do now is check range, and we check range with that Minenwerfer. As you can see, it's pivoting round if you look down to the lower left, and we're way out of range. I think it's got about 150 meter range, so we realised pretty immediately that we're in the wrong place here, and we need to move forward and get some kind of emplacement a little bit closer. And we call that engineer off and say quit digging that trench. There really is no point. You're way too far back to be able to have any impact with that Minenwerfer at all. So we're moving the infantry forward and trying to create a pocket, because what we want in that pocket is we want a space where the Minenwerfer can operate. So pretty much settled up on the left flank. These infantry, that's the anti-tank team that are going to move forward. Dushka's picked up another target, some more infantry or scouts coming down that hill. And then the other half of that rifle squad, yeah, that's pretty brutal. That's the LEIG. Shoots down the guy in the building over there, so we're pretty comfortable there, but we need some infantry in the city, and we're moving that little Panzer I around in support of that. Okay, so meanwhile here we're going to just probe forward again a little bit, see if there's any activity on this side of the map. And again, we're pushing that Minenwerfer and then bringing our 2 BT5s. And because the first attack, the major attack, we're not intending to capture or even attempt to attack at this stage the objective up on the hill, we're swinging all of our power across to the right. And the other infantry squad is just going to line up in the centre there. We're just going to get those settled into that position. 2 more medics. We've already got 2 medics over on the right hand side. There they are. So we're just going to bring the medics to the centre. I'm not expecting much activity at this stage over on the left hand side. So now we're checking range on the Minenwerfer again. Still not there, 170 metres, so we need to be at about 140, 145, max of 150 metres to get any kind of shot into that location. So we've still got to push it forward a little bit, but we've got some contact. We've got some infantry contact out there on the right. So we've brought in this, I think it's a 3.7 flak, and we just start to dig in some infantry just to harden up the edge of this perimeter that we're going to occupy and have the Minenwerfer inside it. So the flak cannon here opens up on that location, and also we've got these infantry in the city. There's quite a big infantry push from the Germans down into the centre. They're infiltrating the building and that trench line, but our infantry line up there do a really pretty good job. That sounds like that was the LEIG and some grenades going off. As they come through the buildings, we're there picking them off one at a time, I think. And there's one just behind us there as well. But we managed to get him down and then throw a grenade at the other one. He runs forward, there goes the grenade, gets a shot in, and then blows in. So that's very nice. So then we decide these guys, it's clearly a holding position. Let's get them dug in. Meanwhile, we can hear the flak cannon over on the right. These infantry, we're going to move forward to cover that gap, because that gap is where the enemy's occupying. We can see that little red dot there. Then we return to sorting ourselves out here. So we're using this little T20, that's the tractor for pulling the Minenwerfer. It's also got a little light machine gun on there. So it's quite a useful thing. That's the flak cannon blowing out some Fallschirmjäger in the town centre. And that's the Minenwerfer. Look at this explosion. Whoa! Look at the blast from that thing. So we're just keeping our pocket clear here, where we got the 2 BT5s out on the right flank. So we're almost there. We're still not quite in range, and that was the Minenwerfer firing on its own. So we decide that we're using that engineer just to build a little sandbag position. Meanwhile, back in the centre, we've got 2 half squads, because we split our squad in 2. They're just in a little firefight there. We're covering the gap with that 3.7 centimetre flak and the truck, and this is the crew. This is just our final part of phase 3 deployment was the crew, and so the crew are now coming in. Meanwhile, our infantry in the centre have all dug in, but you know, in typical Iskra fashion, they dig a trench and then don't get in it. That was the Minenwerfer going off again. So we're going to put that Minenwerfer now, that 7 centimetre, into there and just give it protection. Give it some sandbag protection. It's a really nice little technique. It does stop bullet fire, it stops them being shot at, so obviously, and then we bring the ammunition up behind it and get that down into play. There's some infantry around the edge of that, and as you can see, we're now within range, and that comes, and that's a huge explosion. The Minenwerfer gets someone, and then we've got an infantry push. Quite a big push comes down the centre. This is the Germans doing that. We've got 2 squads not dug in. I'm worried about the Dushka at this point, whether the Dushka is in the right place to deal with this. So we're in a kind of rifle firefight with those squads, but fortunately they've got no backup. But I'm bringing the little Panzer I across to that side to give them some machine gun support. Meanwhile, in the kill feed over there, you can see the Minenwerfer is just battering away, and also bring this tank over just to try and get some more contact on that push, because there's nothing really happening on the right hand side. That's another Minenwerfer blast. Okay, so we bring our little BT in support of that, just to keep that side going. As we can see, that infantry rush that was coming in has been pretty much broken, but we get our guys to dig in, just so that we've got an obstacle between that building and the wall, so that we've got a hard point. Here comes the Minenwerfer again, and that's a big kill. That's a big kill. You can see what a beast of a weapon that is. And then we're just doing a nice job here. We're keeping that under control. This flat cannon, I'm just going to make sure it's covering that gap. And we're moving some infantry forward into the building. So we're starting to get into position for an assault. That's another Minenwerfer blast. I do love that weapon. Look at that bang. And all those casualties are racking up nicely. So we get a couple of infantry up to the wall here, and then demolish the wall with the tank just so they can break into that compound. There we go. Just park that tank there. That forms a nice base. There's the Minenwerfer kicking off again. Bang! You've got to love it. I love it if you're on this side of it, I'm telling you. If you're on the other side of it, as I was in the last game, it's pretty damn terrifying. So we're here, we're just moving the medics up into position just in case we take some casualties, and we need some quick medic action where we're starting to move forward into the enemy compound. So this is all pretty smooth. We're pretty comfortable and going pretty well at this point. We're making nice steady progress. We've got a decent front line. We're just moving, leapfrogging our forces. We've got that objective under serious artillery control. So now we're going to start to flank. This guy's got a little submachine gun. I should have smoked out before I did this maneuver, but he just runs. And there's still some resistance inside that, so he's taking hits as he runs. Fortunately, the little machine gun supports him, and he decides to run around. Each time it goes off, it's great. But he gets shot. That was just not a nice move with the guy with the submachine gun. But that little T-20 is doing a fantastic job. Really fantastic job. So these infantry can move forward and take up this position. So we're slowly edging our way into this factory complex. And bringing the tank up in support of that. So we can get some direct fire onto that objective. That's the 3.75, 3.5, I think it's 3.5 centimetre. That's cool. So we're pretty comfortable. We're good. We're looking good. We're making slow, steady progress. I don't want to... I haven't got enough infantry that I can just risk lives recklessly here. That's the BT5. Yeah, when I did that targeting of the Minenwerfer, it decided to get up and walk. It decided it needed to be closer and it was going to stroll over there for some reason. And I have to kind of say, come on guys, stop it. But actually moving forward wasn't such a bad move, because it meant that I could start to overshoot the target and isolate it from behind, which again is quite a nice tactic. So we get that Minenwerfer down and we can now start to bombard behind the objective rather than on the objective, though they decide to go for a walk again. And let's get them down. And now we use F6, which is area fire, and we start to get some area fire. They deploy the Minenwerfer, we get the ammo up behind them, there it goes, and boy, what a bang. It makes me laugh every time. It's such a brutal weapon. As I said last time in the last game, it's right down at the end of the finished tech tree. So I have no idea how these guys managed to get it so early on, but that's hardcore AI. So we're now moving forward again. We're doing leapfrog. I should have put some smoke. I should have put some smoke down before this manoeuvre. But the guys are running forward under fire, and as you can see, we've got a lot of backup fire, and it's actually something explodes there. Now we've got a vehicle moving in. We've got some kind of light tank, I think, coming down. I just saw it flash, that little red triangle. Something's coming in, so we moved our tank forward to see if we make sure that we can counter that, because the BT5 is probably more than capable. There's still resistance in that area. And wow, that's a big bang from the Minenwerfer. That's a lot of kills. But we have taken a casualty over on the right. We can see it. I think it's a little Panzer I that comes down through the gap now and just emerges through the wall there. And so we get our guys dug in as we start to move into a firefight again. And that little Panzer I has picked up on them. That puts a stop to it, tracks. That blows bits off it. I'm not sure what that was. I think it was the other tank got it from the other side. So it got sandwiched between two tanks. That's pretty nice. Yeah, there goes the Minenwerfer again. Okay, so now we're moving forward into the cap zone. So this is all pretty good. This is all pretty smooth. We're pretty comfortable with this. There doesn't seem to be many active German infantry in that zone. So just getting in there. We just need to fold around a little bit in the center. We took a casualty there. We're looking here for who's got smoke. So this guy's got some smoke. And just we send the other two infantry around the other side so that we've got some coverage on that blind spot. And now we throw some smoke a little bit further than he's comfortable. I thought he'd go behind the metal pylons, but he runs out, throws the smoke, and then move the tank forward and move the infantry forward, and let's get into that cap zone. The tank gets caught up on these metal pylons at this point, which is all a bit strange. So we have to kind of manually micro that tank. We've got some more German infantry there, but we've got 3 guys in the zone. It's very smoky. So the tank is deciding to go backwards. So we get that German infantry down. Now, that's not the Minenwerfer. That's something else. That's enemy mortar fire. The bang wasn't big enough, but we've got this cap. It's falling to us. That's a pretty nice first phase attack. Okay, so now we've got one objective. It's trying to settle, reorganize our forces. So we're moving into the center of the compound now with our other forces, just making sure we're deployed. A couple of defensive trenches on the outside, just in case the counterattack, or when the counterattack comes, that we're bedded in, and we've got some backup. And because we've got an engineer here, we kind of go, let's just dig ourselves a trench on that side, concealed by the bank there. It's quite a nice position. Then we're over on the other side. Okay, we've made some progress on the right. We've made good progress. We've got one cap, so we now need to start scouting. So we send a scout out from that trench line just to see what's happening. We can see from the east we've got some more forces entering from the enemy. These guys that were holding the city centre can move forward to that trench line, so we're just kind of pushing forward. The scout that we've just sent out there is in a little rifle shootout with another guy coming down the hill, or a couple of guys coming down the hill. Okay, so we've now got the Minenwerfer, so we're just going to bring the Minenwerfer into this compound. Then we see that up on the top of that hill there is a Panzer III, and we know that that's going to make life difficult. In fact, that Panzer III shoots down and blows out our scout rifleman. And we can see that Panzer III is up there. It's a long way, it's got a lot of range, and we know it can engage with our LEIG. So we move the LEIG forward a little bit over on the left, and we move the Dushka forward a little bit. We're looking for rocks or places that we can tuck these behind. It's all a bit flat and open, but we decided to put the Dushka and the LEIG right around on the left hand flank. Meanwhile, in the centre here, we've got one objective, and we're expecting the counter-attack. We're trenching in over there, settling the Minenwerfer so we can use that to counter-attack, and the counter-attack's coming in on the right, but we don't have a lot of visibility. And here comes the infantry. And that's okay. We've got a tank, we've got the 3.7, we've got the little T20, and I think we do a pretty good job in seeing that off, although we've taken casualties right up front. They're the first real casualties we've taken in this game, but we managed to break that attack. So we're getting the Minenwerfer unhooked and away from that, and moving the ammo forward, and then getting a medic up into position first behind the wall there, so we can smoke up before we go and attend to those casualties. And that 3.7 and the BT5's just doing a pretty good job. And there's some kind of vehicle coming in from the right. It's only a light vehicle, maybe an armoured car, maybe a truck, but it's coming in from there. But it's picked up those infantry that I forgot to move forward, so they escape a bit lightly. So we send the tank down, the BT5 goes out to deal with that, although the 3.7 is hitting it. And I think one shot from the BT5 deals with that. Yeah, it's out. They've gone, so everything's gone quiet. Keeping moving our infantry forward. Move the medic, get the medic onto those two casualties. So we've got 4 infantry up front in that trench. A couple of infantry out on the side. We've got the 3.7 or 3.5 flak auto cannon covering the right flank. something else is going on in the centre. There's some infantry coming towards the... And we're just having a check of the range up on that hill. We're just looking where the objective is over there. We can see it where the tower and the flag is, and it's out of range. So we're going to have to do something with the LEIG. We can't do anything from that position. Meanwhile, in the centre, we've got another man down, and we've got another snipe out happening. We're just generally a little bit short of infantry. We're not kind of... Yeah, that's fine. The machine gun helps out. Yeah, the little T-20 deals with those two guys. Nice. Yeah, at that point I started to push that BT-5 out of the factory gates, but I went, there's no infantry out there. You can't just do that. You can't push tanks forward, so we start to move forward now. We're trying to press past the objective and bring our infantry forward to create a new pocket into which we can start to operate our tanks. So that's all good. We're moving forward in the centre. We've got one objective in the bag, and we just need to now figure a way of how we're going to approach that crossroads on the top of the hill. That's the anti-tank team. I'm going to move them forward because now there's a Panzer III at the top there. These guys are pretty settled. We send a scout out now just to go and take a look up that hill. This would have been a good point for the engineers to barbed wire this objective, but that's only with the benefit of hindsight and doing this commentary after the fact. So here again we're just sending this engineer out on patrol duty to get some eyes in front of before we send the BT-5 out there, because it's just not wise in this game to send tanks out without extra eyes. Their visibility is too limited. So that's all good. These guys move forward to the road. We're pressing forward nicely. We're starting to prep up for our second. Again, at this point in the game, I was feeling pretty comfortable. You know, that was a smooth attack. Then suddenly, what I think is the Panzer IV from the hill just comes piling down that slope towards us. Not where I'm looking, but actually over on the other side. And then we're also taking some hits from up on the hill there. There's some kind of autocannon that's firing down. Fortunately, the minnow worker's behind that wall and can't be seen, but there's some kind of cannon firing down on us. We'll see if we get any casualties, what it is. Yeah, it's a 3.7 flak 37. They've taken a couple of infantry, shot down a couple of the riflemen. So our BT is engaging with that Panzer III, and there's the flak it's just appeared. That's a decent hit on the Panzer III. That's got two of the crew down, so we're bringing the other tank around the side. We've got another casualty down, that scout that we sent out there. Yeah, the BT-5 was trading shots with the Panzer III. That was a good hit. And the problem we've got with the Minenwerfer now is it's just out of ammo and it's slow to resupply. That was a hit on us. So we're waiting for that Minenwerfer to resupply. You can see down on the left that its ammo is completely gone. We just shot it all out. We've only got an ammo crate. We don't have supply trucks yet. So starting to swing across with in the centre. Just as the medic is starting to about to throw smoke to go and get up that casualty, we get another load of infantry come forward, so he has to fall back. And the anti-tank infantry moving in the centre. That's the Dushka. The Dushka that we moved across just suddenly gets flanking fire into the centre, which is very nice. I didn't anticipate that. And that's the LEIG shooting in that direction as well. That's the Dushka. And it's got a nice line of fire. So now it's got that. We've got some smoke shielding it from the hill. So we bring the LEIG and the ammunition forward as well. This all looks like a good plan at the time. So we did get some smoke up on that casualty. This little T-20 decides to demolish the wall rather than drive around it, but we're trying to make this as hard as possible. We're still checking that there's no ammo on the... And now, up on the hill, now that we've moved things forward, down that hill comes another major counter-strike. 2 heavy infantry rushes. One down the hill and one towards objective A. So we just bring our medics back and get them into that trench. And those infantry coming down the hill there have taken out, see the 2 wounded guys, that's the anti-tank team, the anti-tank rifle team got caught up in that fight. So we're pushing forward with the little Panzer 1 and bringing the crew across, see if we can make some progress with the other Panzer 1 that we captured. We've got a reasonable force holding that down, but I really want a couple of medics, so I decided to pop them in the trench first before smoking up. That's the LEIG, and doing a pretty good job on breaking that attack. In fact, it's broken it. And moving the ammo behind those guys. Okay, so we pick up one of our medics, we throw smoke over there, and then we get ready to pick up another infantry pile coming in on the main objective. I'm not too happy about this because I can see an anti-tank rifle amongst those infantry, so I start to withdraw. Yeah, and the guy's crawling down the hill. Yeah, that'll deal with him. And there's also some mortar fire coming in on us, so we've got smoke on these guys, so we'll get that anti-tank team down. Again, this is feeling pretty good because we've taken down that Panzer III, which was the Panzer III I thought up on the hill. So there's another little Panzer 1 there that we can get to grips with. There's still quite a big infantry rush coming in, supported by mortars here, but we're managing to break it because they can't quite get an angle on that tank. And again, another big mob. So we send the 37mm flak around to see if he can really make an impact. Yeah, it's 20 centimetres. And then something happens. I didn't quite see what happened. Is a flamethrower's burnt out that BT5. Just gone, so it must have been a flamethrower. So we're moving that flak gun into there, but he gets grenaded. And then the Minenwerfer blows out because he's got some ammo and takes out our 3-ton truck with its 20mm. So we've just lost the tank and we've lost the truck in a matter of moments. Part of it our own fault because the Minenwerfer blew off. It wasn't on no fire orders and saw the infantry there and fired and fell short. So now we're a little bit worried. We have to bring the tank forward because we're getting a bit thin. There's another enemy tank moving in. Losing the BT5. This guy, I'm just checking, the engineer, he's got a satchel charge. So we say, okay, get that satchel charge up. We're engaging it with the other BT5. He throws the satchel charge, but it falls off him. And then it rolls back down the hill. But I don't know whether that was the satchel charge or I think it was the satchel charge. I'm just looking at the kill feed now. I didn't see that at the time, but that nice heroic bit by the engineer with the satchel charge. So the 3-ton truck is down. We've got a tank down. They're clearly not giving up yet. They're going to keep counter-attacking. So we move the tank forward. We think we've got a grip. I think we've got a grip again. Yeah, that's fine. The medic sorted out the anti-tank team. We've got a grip on that objective. And we can start to focus some effort again on the second objective up on that hill. So we're just kind of sorting our infantry out, sending this guy out to pick up that armoured car, putting some scouts up that hill just to see what we can see, fixing up the truck. These guys, it looks like they've picked up that little Panzer I, so that's fine. We'll crew that. Send the other crew. That 3-ton truck is just okay. And then pushing forward with the infantry. We've just seen another, see how from the southeast, right, the top right corner, and the east, this is where their reinforcements are coming in. And there, I should have really realised that's the direction that I need to defend in, but I'm still thin on that side. So I want to move now the AEIG over in that direction, so we've got something harder. We're also I'm noting at this point that we're on 535. We're halfway through the game. It's starting to flash, and we're well behind. We're over half an hour in, and that's just an armoured car, and somebody's shooting at my little scout guy here. So he gets down and heals himself. There's a mortar. That looks like an LEIG. And that's a flat gun. And that's a 3.7mm flak. It's taken down the other BT. So I'm now down to no tanks apart from the captured Panzer Is. And then down the hill on the left hand side comes that Panzer III. He's taken out the Panzer I, we get out of that. We've got the LEIG. The LEIG turns to face him, takes a hit on the gun shield, and takes one of the crew down. And we're firing HE-80 at him, but we've got an arc. We're not a flat trajectory like a 88. So that's a hit. That might have tracked him. He disappears for a moment in the smoke. Then he blows out our crew. So we recrew again to try and get that tank off our back, and again that's a miss. And that takes us down again. That takes us down again. We're in real trouble now. We're in real trouble on both sides. We've got just Kadushka, and the LEIG's gone down. We've got some infantry out in the centre here, and we've got an LEIG and another vehicle coming in on the right. Something just cracked then. And what cracked then? I think that's the LEIG. And at this point in the game, I can remember starting to panic a little bit. So this Panzer III is coming down. We've got an LEIG. We're trying to shoot. We're behind the rocks. He hasn't got a good shot on us. But we have got an anti-tank team. So, and that's the Dushka gone down. So we've got nothing on the left-hand side but a few infantry. And a lot of bleeders. One of them gets back on the Dushka, and we get the anti-tank team crawling in to try and get some shots in there. And we've got 2 shots in on him. That kills the commander. That's a 3rd shot on him. But he's pivoting, and he machine guns down the anti-tank team. But we know he's got a reduced crew now, so he's not as efficient as he was. So this guy at the back just makes a heroic move. He's got a bundle grenade, but he really should have smoked before that. and he doesn't last 2 minutes. That tank is damaged because there's somebody out of it and they're trying to fix up its track. And the tank is moving. It's coming down that hill. We try and get into that truck and get shot up by the armoured car. And now you can see how much trouble we're in. We've got a Panzer III. They've smashed through our left flank. Everybody's down. The tank's down, the Dushka down. And all we've got is one guy with a bundle grenade. And here he goes. In here he goes. And that's a grenade. He gets a decent shot in. He's got a hand grenade. And he dies. And from behind, the one remaining member of the anti-tank team has also got a bundle grenade. That's just unnecessarily brutal. And we've got another couple of guys. So he throws his bundle grenade and that. And that gets him out. And now he throws smoke. That was probably the moment where, the worst moment in the game, but also one of the best moments in the game, where I kind of went, okay, we're in trouble, but we've got some medics, we can medic our people up, we've stopped the bad thing happening. Meanwhile, over in the factory complex, the Minenwerfer is still out of ammunition. And we've got an armoured car, this little armoured car, this must be a 251, just starting to cause mayhem, and he's got a line of fire onto the Minenwerfer on that crew. So we're looking here for grenades. He's got an anti-tank grenade, so he gets it out, but this is going to be pretty heroic. Amazing what you don't see in the game. I didn't see that guy had a satchel charge, the engineer. So these guys are moving forward. They're machine gunning up our infantry in the centre. Yeah. But behind him is another Panzer I. So just as he gets within range with his bundle grenade, which he does get off. Then he runs back, but we've just fixed up this other Panzer III. So we get into the Panzer III. Because I think we can hit that inside. These are the guys who have taken the punishment from that armoured car. But just as we move into position, we get stripped by a 3.7 flak from the right hand side. And the track blown out, so we just have to abandon that vehicle, and we're leaving that those infantry to their fate, being shot at. So things are critical. You can see how few forces I've left on the board, and we're barely holding on to one objective. So we've got to make some progress on objective 2. Meanwhile, everyone here is just dying. The Minenwerfer is out of crew. The ammo box has gone out of the crew. This thing has just been deadly. It's just been deadly. And then I see this little artillery piece up on the hill and I can't locate it. See that red V? And I'm going, what is that? Where is it? So we're trying to find out what can we do. So we move these infantry forward, and I'm looking at that artillery piece up on the hill, because we've got some infantry up there now, and there's a little bit of a firefight going on. They haven't got much on that hill, but I've only just seen that what looks like an artillery piece is actually a little panzer nest. So we get here, we're trying to get people up onto this, we're trying to get this tank fixed. We're recrewing the LEIG, and we're carting it forward. It's pretty damaged. we've still got medics. And we've still got that machine gun that's causing mayhem out in the centre. And we've lost... We're about to lose the zone. It's flashing. The enemy's got one, and it looks like we're about to lose two. We've been shot at there. We've lost that duel, so our guys got killed on the outside of the B objective. We've got one crewman there, and some rifle squads, a rifle squad. So I've sent one guy there, two guys around the other side. And here comes that little machine gun again. Smashes its way through the wall, but it's moved out of the cap zone. It's not yet capped, so we can get into that building, and I still keep looking. I haven't found the panzer nest on top of the hill. I keep looking at that artillery piece and thinking, when is that going to open fire? There it is to the right. This is me searching for that artillery piece, trying to find out where it is. I'm just completely confused. So there's a little 45mm anti-tank gun there that I've not seen before. So one of the guys goes for it with a grenade. They shoot him down. So his buddy goes around the other side. And I think that's the little machine gun on the T-20. He gets a grenade off and then gets shot for his pains. But the grenade clears it. And so we're still desperately holding on to this cap with 1 and 2. It's still contested. It's neither ours nor theirs. So at this point the medics start to get involved. We've got medics picking up on the Dushka. Got 2 medics, no, 1 medic and 1 infantryman. This is how desperate things have become. And here comes this armoured car. And that armoured car we've just got to run away from, and that crewman is just running away. He's just trying to get away and get into the factory complex, and the little T-20 is trying to run away as well. Being chased by this like wacky race. He's chased by the armoured car. There's only one, I think, infantryman up on that hill, and so there's a bit of a firefight going on, and I'm desperately trying to get the LEIG fixed up, and now the driver's killed. We've got 3 men in that area now, and we're in a firefight. So we're still engaging with the that top of that hill, trying to fix up the LEIG, and we've got some motion in that Panzer III. And that's the Dushka moving forward again with a medic on the crew. These guys are doing a reasonable job, but we've now got, is that our tank? Yeah, they've fixed up our own tank. They've fixed up our BT-5, and then they're pulling that into action. So we try and get into their Panzer III. And move it down the hill to engage with that our own BT-5. But that's that 3.7 hits us in the side again. We just managed to escape it. Just managed to escape it. So try and get that fixed up, and we get our tank fixed up. Meanwhile, on this side, fixing up the LEIG. We're looking at this Panzer III, and it's still got a track down. It's got a red track and a yellow track, so it's immobile. And then we're trying to move the Dushka. But the Dushka's only got 1 crew, which means it won't work. So we have to pull another guy in from this flank. The whole team start to move, drop them down, let one guy go, the guy with the SMG. And again, I'm still looking at that red triangle on the hill, going, what the hell is that was going on? This crewman try and get him to there. You see there's an infantryman, German infantry, shooting at my tank repairer there. This crewman, that's a medic moving up. We shouldn't be putting medics on the assault. And finally I figure out that this thing is a panzer nest. It's not a gun, it's a panzer nest. So we swing way around the back of it because we know it's got a direction. We can't pivot. And we get the LEIG up and running. There's some kind of rapid firing weapon up there, but the LEIG has got a line on it now. So we can swing left. We're swinging our people left around the back of that panzer nest. But there is a machine gun up there. Sounds like an MG34. These guys go to the ground because they're wounded. No ammo. No ammo on the Minenwerfer. Something's come around the back of the factory complex. Another Panzer 1. But fortunately the Panzer 3 engages it, but we've got some infantry running around the side. So we keep swinging to the left. This is terrifying stuff at this point. Terrifying stuff. Everything feels fragile. We've got a Panzer 1. It's a Panzer 1 moving unmolested in what we thought was our zone. We can do nothing with that crewman but run away. This guy's frantically trying to repair this Panzer 1. There's German infantry just in front of him there. In that shell hole, moving from shell hole to crater. He's looking for our guy that's doing the repair so we can shoot him. And he gets a shot off. So our medic comes down the hill. So our repairer man gets shot. The medic gets shot at, and they're both down. Both down. This is almost game over. I think if the second objective had fallen at this point, it would be game over for me. So there's some kind of fight going on between the Panzer 2. So here's the Panzer 2 has rammed into the Panzer 3. And this is one of the few bits of luck. I'm still mobile. And we get him. We get him, and we've managed that cap. We've got 3 bleeders out there. So we need a medic ASAP. So we send the medic down to the trench. And that is the LEIG that knocks out the panzer nest. There are 2 machine gunners in that panzer nest, and the LEIG has knocked it out. And we're inside the cap zone. Those 2 infantry that swung around from the centre, they swung left and then up the hill. Meanwhile, we're trying to catch and send a medic to try and recover a few infantry here. Here he comes. We've got 2 active medics. So we're bringing this other Panzer 3 round to the add cap weight. Let's finish this cap. I want this victory. I want this victory so much. After all this pain, that's me looking at the panzer nest. And there it is. It's gone now, but it's an MG34 with 2 crew. We've got nothing here. Apart from that one tank, and there's the victory. There is the victory. At this point, I'm so tempted to take it and just back out of this battlefield. This has been bruising, it's been brutal, it's been a brawl. What can I say? We have to start to try and we've got the victory, the game's over, we've got to start trying to pull together what resources we've got on this battlefield and make some progress. We get on the Minnewerfer there. We don't know if there's any more coming. Okay, here comes some more. So we're firing with pistols. There's 2 medics with pistols. And a whole load of infantry coming down that hill. This is a tank going backwards. And the medics are firing their pistols. 1 medic goes down. 2nd medic goes down. We've got 1 medic left on the board. We don't know whether these guys have got anti-tank rifles or what they've got. But they're trying to get into that BT5. They're trying to fix up or get into that BT5. So we have to put a shell into the back of that. Knock him out, and there's still 1 guy over by the BT5, we think. So we put another shell into the back of it. And then back out. No, he's still trying to repair it. We can see him. And we've got him. We've got him down. And that is the guy with the anti-tank rifle. Meanwhile, we've got 1 medic. So we've got to get that medic back to those 2 bleeders, because there's 2 medics lying in that trench, slowly bleeding out. And there's nothing left. We've got so few men left on this battlefield. We just got to get down, wait for any further counterattacks, fan out, try and get eyes all over the place. We know that there's a 3.7 over there somewhere. We know, so we get the tank around, we fortify that position with the Dushka. Here comes the medic. Still no ammunition on the Minenwerfer. So we pick up these 2 medics with the medic. So we've got 3 medics, 2 down and 1 up. This crew member. We want to get him down to get that little Panzer 1. These guys are up by the Panzer nest. I'm really deciding what to do at this point, because the game's over, we've got the victory. And so at this point I decided to take a break and go for the scavenge. And so here we are, back on this battlefield. We'd been all over, we've captured everything that could be captured. We'd set up our sunset shot with the 2 Panzer IIIs up on the hillside. And it was about this point that I realised that my microphone wasn't working, just around this point. So we're just doing a final review of the game. We're talking about the various attacks and what happened, how this all came about, the counterattacks down there. I couldn't let go of the crazy Panzer nest. It was the Panzer nest that was obsessing me, because I thought for the longest time that that was just an artillery piece, and it kept scaring the shit out of me. I thought, I can't get up that hill, but that's what it was. And so that's pretty much it. I mean, I think that I'm not sure how much more commentary I went. There were lots of little bits and pieces here and there, but there's not a lot more to this game. I think we were lucky. We just managed to hold it. There was a lot that could have gone wrong. I anticipated not much, but we finished. We got out. We got a decent number of kills. We popped out of the game at this point and got back to the research screen, where I actually can see what reward I've got. And I think it's 3.8 points, some cash, some artillery stars. That's the game. But as I say, it was around this time that I absolutely realised that I'd not had my microphone on, and my heart fell. I went, wow, that was such a fun game. That's such an exciting game. And it's just, I've kind of lost the plot on it, really, because I failed to check that my microphone, my USB was plugged in. That's what all this is about. But anyway, that's the game. And so once more, I'm going to have to say to all of you guys, because we'll be back soon, that thank you for watching. I'm sorry about the postscript commentary. that it wasn't a live commentary for this game, but it was the only way I could get it done. I hope that I will see you soon. I certainly hope I will see you on the next one, Battle 4 in Iskra, our Russian hardcore series. But until then, from Gaming Grognards, once more, it's thanks and bye for now.